You know, the Knives Out trilogy has quickly become this modern classic, right? And now, the final chapter is finally here. Today, we're going to dive deep into Wake Up Dead Man and figure out if it actually lives up to all that incredible hype. Is it a worthy send-off for our favorite detective, the one and only Benoit Blanc?
So, let's just cut right to the chase, shall we? I mean, after the absolute masterpiece of the first film and that huge, ambitious, star-studded sequel, there's really only one question that matters. Is this new one the best of the bunch? Is it the best film in the entire trilogy? Let's break it down.
First things first, the man himself is back. Daniel Craig returns as the absolutely inimitable Benoit Blanc. But hold on, don't get too comfortable, because the creators have thrown a massive curveball, not just at him, but at us, the audience. This case is unlike anything he has ever faced. It's not just a new puzzle, it's a whole new ballgame.
And that new game, it all starts with the setting. Forget those sprawling mansions, forget the sun-drenched private islands. This film just throws us right into the deep end, into the shadowy corners of a closed-off, isolated church-linked community. And let me tell you, that kind of environment is just the perfect breeding ground for secrets, resentment, and a whole lot of suspicion. Look, we all know what these Knives Out movies do, right? They're these brilliant social critiques. The first one went after the rot inside a rich family, and Glass Onion took some hilarious shots at those eccentric tech billionaires. But this one, it completely shifts its focus. It turns the lens on the intense pressures and the hidden sins of an insular religious community. And that makes the whole critique feel way more personal, way more intense. We're talking themes of blind faith, hypocrisy, and the kind of power structures that can just fester when you're cut off from the world.
So let me walk you through how this whole impossible crime kicks off. First up, a new priest, a guy named Father Jude, who used to be a boxer, gets sent to this remote church. Then, the priest who was already there is found murdered inside a sealed room with no doors. A classic locked room mystery. Naturally, all eyes immediately turn to the new guy. He becomes the prime suspect. And when the local cops have absolutely no idea what to do, they make that one fateful call, bringing our man, Benoit Blanc, onto the scene. And get this, the suspect list this time, it's not some squabbling family fighting over a will. Nope, it's the entire community. You've got the doctor, the lawyer, the priest's assistants, all the other church members. In a place this isolated, literally everyone is a potential suspect. Proving anyone's innocence or their guilt is going to be next to impossible. Okay, but here's where things get really different. We've talked about the setting, we've talked about the suspects, but the biggest change by far, it's the whole vibe of the movie. If you're walking into this expecting those witty, laugh-out-loud moments from the first two, you might need to adjust your expectations, like a lot. While the first Knives Out and Glass Onion were masters of black comedy, using humor to cut the tension, Wake Up Dead Man just throws that entire playbook out the window. It's like they took it and just ripped it up. This is a purely dark, really somber thriller. The jokes are gone. They've been replaced by this atmosphere of genuine, creeping dread. But even this huge shift in tone isn't the craziest thing they did. The single biggest, most audacious twist in this entire movie has absolutely nothing to do with who the killer is. Okay, you ready for this? For the entire first hour of the movie, Benoit Blanc is gone. He's not in it. That's right. The main character, the detective whose face is on the poster, is completely absent. The film just drops us into this community, surrounds us with suspects, and leaves us there for a whole hour without our brilliant guide. And what that does to you as you're watching is just profound. It's genius, really. By keeping Blanc out of the picture, the movie basically forces you to become the detective. You have to live with these characters, you have to soak in the atmosphere, and you have to start putting the clues together all by yourself. It makes you an active participant in the mystery. It's an unbelievably clever move. Now, you can't pull off a move like that with this dark, complicated story unless you have an absolutely killer cast. And man, this is where the film just soars. We're not just talking about a good thriller here. We are talking about a film that is lifted up by some truly exceptional acting from top to bottom. And yeah, Daniel Craig is the star, but honestly, you could make a really strong case that Josh O'Connor, who plays the accused priest, Father Jude, is the true hero of this film. His performance is just phenomenal. He plays this man who's been completely cast out by his community, buried under this mountain of suspicion, and he becomes the emotional heart of the entire story.
And it's not just him. The whole cast is a masterclass. Daniel Craig is, of course, excellent, but we also get this sharp, really distinctive performance from the legend Glenn Close. And Josh Brolin shows up as the murder victim and just delivers this powerful, memorable performance in a small role. Seriously, from the main suspects down to the smallest parts, every single actor brings their A-game. It's an unforgettable ensemble. All right, let's bring it all home. We've got the new setting, that super dark tone, the crazy structure, the amazing acting. So, the big question, does it all work? Is it worth your time? Let's get to the final verdict. First thing you gotta know, this mystery is not a walk in the park. It is seriously complex, layered with all these little details that are designed to keep you guessing and second-guessing every single step of the way. This is a mystery built for people who love the genre.
I mean, check this out. They estimate that a whopping 90% of people watching this will have no idea who the killer is before the big reveal. You're just going to be waiting for Benoit Blanc to lay it all out at the end, to finally understand how all these incredibly complex pieces fit together. That, my friends, is the sign of a brilliantly crafted mystery.
So, what's the takeaway? This movie is, without a doubt, a perfect finale for this trilogy. It takes the whole concept in a really bold new direction, and it delivers a super satisfying, definitive conclusion. Or does it? It feels like a perfect ending, but the door for more stories is still very, very much open. And here's why I say that. You gotta remember the numbers. Netflix dropped a staggering $450 million on this franchise. With that kind of money on the line and the huge number of people who tune in for these movies, it seems pretty likely we have not seen the last of Benoit Blanc, even if this particular story is wrapped up. So let's circle all the way back to that first question. Is this the best in the trilogy? Look, the second movie had its issues for some people, but this one? It's a huge step up, and it's a fantastic film all on its own. The final verdict couldn't be clearer. This is an excellent thriller, and it is highly, highly worth watching.
And that just leaves us with one last thing to chew on. For a guy like Benoit Blanc, a detective who's famous for solving these impossible cases, does solving another one and another one make him more of a legend, or does it somehow make the magic fade a little? It's a really interesting question about the whole detective genre itself. Let us know what you think. Thanks for joining me on this one.